Fourth set is Neo Planet S, spawning up in the top right-hand position. The red Zerg from Woongjin Stars. His name is SoulKey.
His opponent spawning as the blue Protoss on the left bottom side of the map. His name is herO, playing for CJ Entus. And to finish answering the questions, personal opinion, there's always one all-star match in all of the seasons, but not sure if you're having that for this particular season. And I can also say that there's no confirmation or any plans at this point that we are going to have those special matches. But then again, we learned about the special matches after we went on a break.
That's true. So things can kind of come at short notice. That's esports for you, man. A lot of things do come on short notices. But, yeah. Something I want to mention about SoulKey's name. Oh, it looks like herO's going to go for in-base expansion, or gateway into expand, or maybe forge expand. Noticing what the observer's pointing at here, the ramp has been slightly widened on this map to make it a little bit harder for Protest the Wall. Honestly, it's still pretty easy, though, but maybe just giving Zergs more opportunity to try to do some type of aggression early on in the game.
Before, it was a forge, gateway, and a 1 hex gap between the cliff and the buildings. Now, it's more of pylon, forge, and the gateway, so it feels more like Cloud Kingdom.
Yeah. Cloud Kingdom, of course, one of the more successful maps from the community and one of the most famous in the long run, but not in the map pool really anymore. It served its course. You have to keep the match or the map pool pretty fresh. Keeps the metagame interesting, keeps the game from getting too stale as well. Seeing that Nexus first from our Protoss player here, getting that up quite fast. Going for the scout afterward, and he is building a forge to follow it up. So he'll go ahead and make that pylon near that natural ramp or choke, and then you know, gateway down, cannon, standard stuff.
Now we do have the 2 Zerglings being made by SoulKey. He's not going to commit any more to those Zerglings at this point. herO knows about the hatchery timing, so he must be feeling pretty safe at this point.
Yeah, he saw that. He's like, all right, cool. Everything's looking pretty normal here. Nothing to worry about too much. Gateway going down. We're going to see that cannon go up momentarily as well. There is that cannon. Now the question is, will SoulKey run these Zerglings into herO's main base or just kind of try to chase down that probe? He's not committing any more lava to the Zerglings, so that does lead me to think that he's not going to try to run in there.
If he can sneak one in before the cannon finishes, why not? But if he can't, then there's no reason for him to waste the Zerglings to the single cannon.
And the timing's looking good on that cannon as well, so the Zerglings won't even do anything. herO going to go ahead, grab his assimilators in his main base. The Nexus does go ahead and finish up there. So his economy getting online here. Third hatchery from SoulKey as well. So everything's looking pretty standard and solid here.
And one thing I want to say is that this is a Cloud Kingdom style wall-off, which means that you're going to have the pylon along with the wall. And some of these Protoss players are like, okay, I'm walled in, I am safe. But sometimes the Zerg players like to go for the bust, and they take down the pylon, and they go like, oh, I don't have power anymore on those gateways and the cannon.
That's true. Baneling busts are especially rare, but the Roach ones and Mass Zergling ones, still something we do see from time to time here. And that core finishing up. Chrono, interestingly enough, on that gateway. It looks like herO may want to go for some aggression earlier on. He is getting that Mothership core as well, followed by Warp Gate. And we're going to probably see a Stalker from this gateway here, but if he doesn't get it, then hey, no big deal. Well, there's the Stalker, so he does want to get aggressive with these units.
Actually, that was the second Zealot.
Yeah.
So this first Zealot is going to get inside the third base, second Zealot already out on the way, and the Stalker is going to join pretty soon. He really wants to deal with some heavy pressure before going into tech of his choice, which is going to be a Stargate.
Yep, so Stargate follow-up here. The Mothership core heading across the map. Now remember, the Zealots did a little bit of damage to this Queen, so that Mothership core may be able to snipe that off. Take care of it. These Zerglings are going to finish off the Zealot here. And a nice defense from SoulKey. Making a good amount of Zerglings, actually losing a few here though. Doesn't want to take any more damage than he needs to from that Mothership core, and he's going to be forced to make more units here due to this pressure.
Yeah, really nice play by herO. Even though he loses a Zealot, might lose a second Zealot from this pressure. he's forcing all of those precious drones to be turned into Zerglings at this point in the game.
Yeah. And you know what? Drones aren't so precious as Zerglings, man. They're killing machines, but they drop like flies.
Oh yeah, definitely. At this point, you want to drone up as much as possible. herO is pretty much denying that. Really nice play behind this. He's getting a Void Ray.
I like the timing for SoulKey's scouting as well. He's going to see the Void Ray on the way, and now a second Stalker being added in here. This is really abusing the fact that the Zerg player did not go for such Zergling speed early on, and the positioning for herO quite good here, but the biggest issue is that the Zerglings are getting good surround regardless. Recall back to the natural. That's going to save herO's units, and I have to say that was actually pretty solid for herO there.
Really nice micro, I have to say. Some players panic and try to get the queen at the last second. The Zerglings get a complete surround, try to target it down with the Mothership Core, and then you have this iffy situation where you have a single Mothership Core, lost 2 Stalkers and a Zealot to a couple of Lings, and you don't even kill the queen at the end.
No. Also, we have herO grabbing that 3rd expansion pretty early here, considering the Stargate opening. And the Zerglings, they will scout this. The cannons at that base, they are completing at the right time here, and there's also 2 Stalkers to defend. 2 Void Rays, though, are out. 2 Stargates are being created right now. We're going to see a complete Sky Toss tech switch here from herO. SoulKey, if he doesn't scout this in time, there is no way he's going to be able to punish it.
He does have the Hydras, he does have the Rush Warren tech, and what he really needs to do is take out the 3rd base before there's a critical number of Void Rays out to defend the base over there. So the Hydras are going to come out, and it's pretty much herO's job to deal against the Hydras with pure Void Rays and some ground army, or even adding in some Robotech army.
These Void Rays are just going to charge up to try to kill off a few of the drones here before moving out. One of the Void Rays, they're actually getting a little bit low on health, and they force the retreat there. I have to admire how aggressive herO is being on this map, and you know what? It's just everything has actually ended up working out quite well for him, because you know, that early aggression forced more Zerglings out. SoulKey wasn't going for that speed anyway, so things are looking pretty good for herO here.
But SoulKey does confirm that his opponent herO is going into Sky Toss army, so immediately he's making 8 Hydras, and I would like to see him adding more bases into this composition, going into Vipers and possibly Infestors for the Fungals.
And as you say that, getting a 4th expansion already in the top left-hand corner of the base. SoulKey on top of things here. His creep spread could be a little bit better, but he hasn't really focused on that too much this game. Had the focus more on defending against the pressure. And this seems, the pressure early on seems like a really good way to go into Sky Toss from.
Yeah, it delays the opponent's tech heavily. They're like, okay, I want to get up to 70 drones 6 minutes, 7 minutes into the game really early on, and it pretty much denies a Zerg player from getting all of those drones out. Behind the herO, all he has to do is get some Sky Toss army out, and getting a 3rd base, he delayed his opponent's tech while actually going for a tech choice of his own. So really nice play by herO, I have to say. Behind this, he's slowly going into Colossus, but is that what I see?
That is a Nidus Worm. You see there, Supernova Maniac. There's a lot of queens there too, so it looks like we're going to be seeing a pretty strong timing attack from SoulKey here.
This is going to be hard for herO to block. Remember, he doesn't have the Colossus. He's going for the pure Void Rays, and Void Rays against queens, not so great, especially with the addition of Hydras in that army composition. The Nidus network does finish, and where does it pop out?
This is looking like a very scary looking army from
queens.
Our Zerg player. That's a lot of queens there. Looks like we're going to see a full-on frontal attack here from SoulKey. There are no Colossus yet in this army. 1 is on the way, +1 attack starting for our Protoss player, but the 2-2 about to begin for SoulKey, and now that Nidus Worm is starting to get created here near the natural of SoulKey. This attack needs to do a lot of damage, otherwise the Sky Toss will be able to just simply snowball for herO.
But do remember, that's a lot of queens in that Nidus Worm. Here we go, the first one is out, the second one is out on the way. SoulKey creating constant queens right now. That's up to 10 queens in this composition. 2 more queens out on the way, and herO, if he just defends once, he can win the game. But this is a really scary army against the Sky Toss composition from herO.
Alright, the Void Rays are doing their best to kind of delay against this attack here. The Colossus is able to do a lot of damage here as well, but the problem is there's simply nothing that can counter the constant transfusions from all of these queens here. Hydra's moving in. Nice. Time Warp goes down, but the Mothership Core does fall here. The Hydra count still pretty solid here. Anything that is created from our Protoss players evaporating. The looks like the Void Rays, though, they are doing a lot of damage, but the Queens are forcing them to retreat here. Almost all of the Hydras have been taken out, however.
Remember that the Nexus Cannon is still buffing these Protoss army, but with the Nexus Cannon gone, now herO doesn't have any answer against this composition. He does take out the hatchery, but it's not enough when your opponent is taking down the double Stargates and the Robo with Colossus not finishing.
Oh no, losing the Robo, the 2 Stargates, that's going to be such a hard position for herO to recover from. And I mean, he still has a good amount of Void Rays. These drops are being very annoying here, but I think that herO is only trying to delay the inevitable here, losing more Void Rays at this position, trying to use that charge to scare away some of these units, but I just, with the 2-2 completed, the natural going down, herO, he has been defeated. His Sky Toss strategy looking solid, but GG is called. SoulKey taking a second victory for Woongjin Stars.
And the biggest problem was herO's Stargate strategy was scouted so earlier in the game that SoulKey was able to prepare this attack with massive amount of queens with a Night Swarm. And the problem is, mass queens against Void Rays, mass queens win. They win in the end.
Yeah, they do. The transfusions pretty much negate the ability for the Void Rays to really do consistently high DPS over a good period of time.